Welcome to the Higher Arabia podcast, powered by Matchmaker Number One. I'm Ines Mokrani, recruiter, coach, and connector of talent across Europe and the Middle East. In this podcast, we explore the challenges, opportunities, and success stories of hiring in one of the world's most dynamic regions. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 23, Struggle in the Middle East, where we delve deeply into the intriguing paradox of why high performers, those with impressive CVs, often underperform here, while average leaders seem to adapt and thrive without much issue. Some of the most impressive CVs I encounter belong to highly educated individuals who are high-performing and fast decision makers, yet they struggle the most in the Middle East despite their exceptional qualifications and track records. These high performers often stall in their progress, become deeply frustrated with the pace and processes, or quietly choose to exit the region, while surprisingly, average leaders manage to adapt better to the local dynamics. This challenge isn't rooted in a lack of competence at all, but rather stems from a fundamental misalignment between their mindset, their expectations, and the unique environment of the Middle East. High performers are typically defined by their remarkable speed in decision-making, clarity in communication, control over processes, and strong sense of ownership, traits that are highly rewarded and celebrated in Western systems. However, in the Middle East, these same prized traits can unexpectedly become significant friction points, particularly when they are applied too rigidly or without fully grasping the essential local context. High performers often prioritize seeking clarity before building trust, making decisions before fostering relationships, and achieving alignment before exerting influence in their approach. Yet, in many Middle Eastern environments, this sequence is effectively reversed. Proximity often comes before clarity, subtle signals precede formal decisions, and gradual access precedes any real control. This fundamental mismatch in approaches creates significant frustration for high performers, which is frequently misinterpreted by others as mere resistance rather than a clash of paradigms. Surprisingly, these average leaders often adapt better because they tend to ask more thoughtful questions, patiently wait longer for the right moments, observe the dynamics more carefully, and push less aggressively for immediate results. This behavior isn't a sign of inherent weakness, but rather demonstrates a greater flexibility and a genuine willingness to first understand the environment deeply, rather than rushing to simply prove themselves right away. Their weaker attachment to a single rigid way of leading allows them to pivot and adapt more fluidly, proving that in this context, flexibility proves far more valuable than sheer technical excellence alone. The real leadership shift required in the Middle East moves from pure performance to strategic positioning, from direct execution to skillful navigation, and from absolute certainty to cultivated patience. Importantly, this doesn't mean lowering your standards in any way, but rather strategically changing the sequencing of your actions to align better with the local realities. As a result, your impact may arrive later than expected, but it will ultimately last much longer and prove to be far more profound and sustainable. If you're a high performer considering a move to or already working in the Middle East, it's crucial to pause and ask yourself these critical self-reflection questions. Am I focused on optimizing processes or truly orienting myself to the context? Am I pushing hard for immediate outcomes or patiently building essential context? Am I striving to be right or to be truly effective in this environment? The honest answers to these probing questions will matter far more to your long-term success than even your most impressive resume or past achievements. The Middle East doesn't reject high performers outright. Instead, it powerfully reshapes them through its unique demands and opportunities. Those who wisely adapt their leadership style without compromising their core standards don't just succeed, they emerge as truly influential figures in the region. Remember, leadership always lives and thrives inside a larger system, and deeply understanding that system is the key to achieving lasting, meaningful impact. Thank you for tuning in to the Higher Arabia podcast, brought to you by Matchmaker Number One. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. It helps us connect even more talent with opportunity. See you next time. Until then, keep building bridges between cultures and careers.